Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Monday evening. Hope you had a lovely weekend and a lovely Monday. Today you might notice I have a chair here because we are doing quite a few balances today. So if you've got a chair handy, grab it, make sure it can't slip anywhere. Or if you've got a wall near where your mat is, that will do just as well. You don't have to have it, but it's just useful to have as a support, which indeed is the theme for our day, all about support. So as ever, throughout the practice, listen to your body, only do what feels right for you today. Let us begin by lying down. So finding yourself a nice, comfortable position on the mat, whatever that might be, with your knees bent, or perhaps the soles of your feet touching, or your legs out long, whatever feels right for you today. As we just begin to come into the moment, leaving aside everything that's going on in your life and in the world. For the next 60 minutes, this is about you connecting your mind with your body through your breath. So just giving yourself permission to slow down and to move into the present. And just tuning into your sense of hearing, begin to notice all the sounds around you, near and far. You don't need to identify them. Allow the sounds to just move through you in their transient way. And notice the movement of the sound, how it may rise and fall, how perhaps there is stillness between sounds. Single out a sound and just let your attention rest on that particular sound, closing out the other sounds. Allowing that sound to fill you. And then slowly becoming aware of the other sounds around you. And becoming aware of your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Nice, even, rhythmic breathing. Allowing your belly to fill on the inhale and to empty and relax on the exhale. and just beginning to count as you breathe. So counting the inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing for 1, 2, and exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing 1, 2, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing 1, 2, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Continuing in that rhythm with your own time to your breath. And let's begin to see, can we make that exhale a little bit longer than the 4? Can we bring it up to 5 or maybe 6? Taking 5 more breaths like this. Allowing the breath to fill you. Keeping that even rhythm in and out through the nose. Taking one more breath here. And if your legs are out straight, just bending the knees so the feet are flat on the floor. I'll take this opportunity to say welcome to our newest patrons, Rosemary, Catherine, Miriam and Agnes. It's great to have you along, and great to have Sharon and Fenora with us today. Lovely to have you here. And from here, bending those knees, just hugging the knees into the chest, and begin to just massage out your back, listening to your body, listening to whatever it suggests to you in terms of movement, and then coming to stillness. Let's begin to start moving the legs. So letting them, beginning to cycle, but having them up quite high to start with. As we pedal here. And you can stay like this, or if you want to start to bring a bit more challenge into it, you can begin to lower those legs nearer to the floor so that your core has to start to work here. Let's keep this going for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, whatever direction you're going in, change that direction. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and letting the feet come to the earth. Let's just raise the arms up over the head and bring them back down by the side. And again, up over the head and back down by your side. And then your next inhale, bringing the arms up and And as you exhale, back down by your side one more time, keeping that connection with the breath. Good, and from here, just rolling over onto your side and coming up to sit. If you've got a block or a book, grab it. If not, the mat will do just fine. And as we're here, sitting up nice and tall, just finding that length now in the spine as we begin to open up, putting the left hand down by your side. Let's just bring a bit of movement in. So bringing the right hand over and back, finding a nice bend on that right side as we bring it over and back. And twice more. Good, taking that to the other side. Over and back. Keeping the spine nice and long, keeping that form so the shoulders and hips are still connected to each other. And two more. Good, coming to stillness, let's take a turn to the left and take a turn to the right and to the left and to the right. Again, keeping that nice length in the spine. We're taking that turn from the base of the spine all the way up, so feel probably easier to think about your chest turning. If you want to get your sternum pointing towards the end of the mat and then towards the front of the mat. And coming to stillness. And from here, let's just move on to all fours. So just checking out your position here in tabletop, fingers nice and wide. Shoulders over the wrists, little micro bend in the elbows. And looking out behind you there that the hips are over the knees. Legs about a fist and a half apart from each other. And the feet straight out behind you so you can't see them. Nice long spine. Good. We're going to be on our hands and knees for quite a bit. So if your wrists get sore, you can always just turn the palms upside down for a minute. That can often help. Or come up onto your fists for a bit. Sometimes that can help. Or if you want to just stretch out the wrists, turn them backwards for. So any of those things, or of course just go into a child's pose and come back when you're ready. So let's start out with some cat-cows. Dipping that belly, tilting the pelvis. We're going to lift up the sternum and draw a little arc with the nose to lift the gaze up. And then begin to curl from the tailbone all the way through to the crown of the head. And moving into your cow pose. And then into your cat. Continuing with that movement, really tuning into your spine and how it's moving here. Close the eyes and think about connecting with each little vertebrae. Noticing how it feels as you move from one extreme to the other. Just taking two more of these. And meeting back in tabletop. And let's begin to circle the hips. So they're coming in big, wide circles, pushing them as far back as you can.
So you really start to get some movement in there in the hips. Noticing how much of a circle you can make. And whatever direction you're going in, just take it in the other direction. And again, noticing, are there points in this circle that are really nice, that feel really good, and points in this circle that feel a little tight. And coming to stillness here. Let's curl that toes of that right foot and push the foot back, pushing out through the heel and lifting it up to hip distance, or sorry, yeah, hip height off the floor. Toes pointing down towards the mat. Good, and for our first start of our balances, let's just lift up that left hand and bring it out in front of us. And we're gonna bring it all into the middle, so bringing that knee towards your nose, bringing the fist in also towards the knee, and then stretch it out. Let's do that 3 more times. Bringing it in and stretching it out. And again, in and out, and last time, bringing it in and stretching it out. Good. Bringing it all back into tabletop as we take it over to the other side. So stretching out that left leg and lifting it up to hip height, toes pointing towards the floor. Just letting that right hand come up. Really helpful here to use your core to help with stability. So as you exhale, think about lifting the pelvic floor, bringing the belly button in and up. Notice the strength and stability that gives you. And let's draw it all into the center and stretch it out. And again, bringing it in and out, in and out. And one more time, bringing it all the way in and stretching it all the way out. Good. Coming back onto all fours here. And let's bend up that right foot, so it's bending upwards. And with your left hand, reaching across. If you can reach your foot, great. If you can't reach your foot, that's fine. Just reach the hand back and lift the leg up to wherever it will go. If you're able to reach the foot, lift it up and use it like a counterbalance. So you're pushing your hand against your foot and your foot against your hand as you begin to stretch your quad. If that's really very difficult for you, you can just bend up this foot, keep the knee on the floor, and even hold on to it with the right hand to just help bring a little stretch into the quad. Good. Keeping the gaze on the mat in front of you so your spine is nice and long. One more breath here. And allowing it to come down into place. Let's take that over to the other side. So again, bending the foot up. If this is enough for you, if this is a huge stretch in your quad, leave it here. If you can hold on to it with your left hand, do. If you want a little bit more, raise the leg up. And if you can hold on to it with your right hand, do. And again, start pushing that right foot into the right hand, lifting that leg up, finding that stretch in the quad, keeping that gaze on the mat in front of you. Good. One more breath here. And bringing it all the way down. And from here, walking your hands out, stretching them out nice and long, keeping your hips where they are, directly over the knees, and start to bring the forehead towards the floor for a nice puppy dog pose. Nice long spine, really stretching it out here. Taking 2 more breaths here. And walking the hands all the way up back to tabletop, and in fact you can have them just slightly ahead of your shoulders as we curl our toes, pushing the hips back, and we make our way up into a downward dog. So you're still having that length of the spine, but now we're lifting the legs up and starting off slowly. Keep the knees bent, keep the heels up off the floor. Pedal your way into your version of a downward dog. You might find it easier to spread the legs out a little bit wider. That might help. What we really want here is those hips pushing back towards the end of the mat. Broaden out the shoulders. And then begin to bring length into the legs wherever that is. It's fine to have those knees as bent as you need to, and those heels up. Having that gaze coming towards your belly button so that your ears are in line with your arms. One more breath here. And let's just walk those feet up to the hands and come to the top of the mat and roll all the way up. Good. So let's run through a sun salute. We'll do 2 on each side. Those of you that know your sun salutes, go ahead, go at your own pace and go with your own version. And if you're not so familiar with it, stick with me. We'll go slowly at first, and then we'll start to move it up just a little bit as we move through. So bringing those arms up nice and tall, raising the gaze. Let the arms come all the way out as we come into a forward fold. In this forward fold, bend your knees as much as you need to here. So we don't want to put too much strain on your hamstrings. Go with what works for you. And then halfway lift. So bringing your hands just above the knees, nice long spine, gazing down at the floor, and forward fold, hands to the floor. Stepping that right leg back, step it back as far as it can go, dropping that knee, open out the foot, and keeping this left knee over the left ankle, rise up into a low lunge, lifting the gaze, and hands down either side of that foot, open out those fingers nice and wide, and we're going to step back into a plank here. Keep a micro bend in the elbows. And let's make our way down through knees, feet, chest, keeping the elbows in, rolling through to a cobra, and pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. And now we want to get this right foot up to the top of the mat, whatever way works for you. You've got lots of choices. You can come down on all fours, step the right leg up, or just move it to wherever it goes and carry it the rest of the way, or step it right through. So whatever works for you today, but ending up with your right knee over your right ankle and opening out the back foot, come up into a low lunge. And hands down either side of that foot, stepping that back foot up to meet the front, bending those knees, opening the arms out to come all the way up. Good. And arms up in the air, sweeping the arms out as we come into a forward fold. And a halfway lift with a nice long spine. Forward fold, let's step that left leg back. Open out the foot and come into your low lunge. Soften the shoulders. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into a plank and coming down through knees, feet, chest. Keep the elbows in as you come down and roll up into a little back bend, a little cobra with that gaze staying on the mat. Pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. And let's get that left foot up to the top of the mat, whatever way works for you today. Dropping that right knee, open out the foot, and come all the way up. Hands down, either side of the foot, stepping that right foot up to meet the left. Bend those knees as you come all the way up. Good, and hands up, sweeping down, forward fold. Halfway lift. And forward fold, right leg goes back. Open out the foot and come all the way up. Hands down either side, stepping back into your plank. Take a breath here. And coming down through knees, feet, chest. Rolling up into a cobra. And pushing all the way up through tabletop into your downward dog. Getting that right foot up to the top of the mat. Dropping the left knee, open out the foot. Come into your low lunge. And hands down, stepping the back foot up to meet the front. Bend those knees to come all the way up. Good. Last side, hands up, sweeping down, forward fold. And halfway lift. Forward fold, left leg goes back for your low lunge. And moving from here into your plank. Coming down, knees, feet, chest, roll through. And pushing up through tabletop into your downward dog. Nice long spine. And bringing that left foot up to the top of the mat, dropping the back foot as we come all the way up into a low lunge. And hands down, stepping that right foot up to meet the front. Bend those knees and come all the way up to stand. Well done. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm now. The sun salute is just such a great way to get your body moving, the whole body moving. So hopefully you're nice and open and warm. And from here, we're going to come into a tree. So if you've got a chair or indeed a wall, use them for as much support as you need. So there's no shame in having to touch off it or even hold it the entire time. Your balance will come just with practice. So we've got choices here in our tree. First of all, stand with your feet in a nice straight line. Equal weight in both feet. And now we're going to shift the weight into the left foot and turn this right foot out at a right angle. From here, you can put the foot onto just above your ankle and stay like this, and this might be enough for you. Or you can raise it up onto your calf. Or if you like, you can bring it onto your thigh. Try and keep it out of the way of the knee. And wherever you are in the pose, find a gaze point and just hold it there. Pushing your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot will really help. Thinking about pulling up through that inside standing thigh, the left thigh, pulling up tall. From here, you may want to raise the arms up over the head or even open them out into a full tree. Good. Taking one more breath. And really slowly, with control, making your way
down. Good, let's take that to the other side. So again, turning this left foot out, and you might find your two sides are completely different, and you might be able to balance really well on one side and you can't get off the floor at all on the other side. That happens to lots of people. So again, go with what works here. So maybe just lifting the heel up or putting the whole foot onto the calf. And again, if you're here, pushing the calf against the foot against the calf really helps to just bring solidity and support to this pose. Or you might want to bring it up onto the calf, onto the thigh, and be a bit wobbly like me at the start. And from here, again, if you think about bringing the core into it, it can really help. So as you exhale, lift your pelvic floor, bring your belly button in and up. And you may want to raise those arms up or open them out. Finding that gaze point. Keeping the gaze soft. Allow the attention to move to the breath. One more breath. And slowly making your way all the way down. Good, well done. Give yourself a pat on the back if you managed to get even a millisecond of a balance there. Well done. It's never easy. And from here, bringing the feet together, toes just a little bit apart, we're going to sit back into our chair. In our chair, we're going to think about lifting that pelvic floor and bring the belly button in and up as we exhale. And let's take a little turn to the left. So we've got your hands in prayer, a straight line from one elbow to the other. And think about your chest moving towards your thumbs. Looking towards your thumbs. So you're getting a nice deep twist here. Good. Let's hold this for 2 more breaths. As you exhale, lifting that pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. And allowing the hands to just kiss off the floor as we take it to the other side. Good. One more breath here. And coming back to the center with your hands on the floor, heel toe your feet apart so that they are hip distance apart. And bending the knees, coming all the way up. So we're standing up tall, checking down on your feet in a nice straight line. And we're going to step this right leg back, but put your hands on your hips. Notice how your hips are in a straight line with the top of the mat. We're going to step the right leg back and keep those hips in that straight line with the mat. So your right hip is going to want to go back. So think about bringing that right hip forward, bringing that left hip a little bit back. And we want equal weight on both feet here. Both feet facing towards the front. Good for your warrior 1. And from here, raising the arms up over the head and drawing an arc with the nose all the way up to look at the ceiling. Checking in with yourself here. Are your feet, is your weight equally balanced on both feet? Is your torso generally in the center of your body? Are your hips square? Shoulders soft? Good. Any parts of tension, tightness here, direct your breath into it. Lovely, one more breath. And allowing the arms to open out to the side. Let's take 3 breaths here, keeping those shoulders soft, keeping equal weight in both feet. Lovely. And bringing the hands in front of you here. Let's just reach forward like we've got a ball in our hands. So you're really starting to stretch the back of that right leg. And bringing a bit of engagement into the left quad. Good, one more breath. And allowing the hands to come all the way to the floor. Let's just step it back into a downward dog. One more breath here. And let's just walk it up to the top of the mat and bend the knees. And coming all the way up to stand. Hands onto the hips, squaring them up. We're going to step the left leg back. It goes straight back on a railway track into your warrior one on this side, keeping those hips square. Notice how you square up your hips. When you square up your hips, it brings a little bit more of a stretch into that back leg. Keeping the knees, a little softness in the back knee, so it's not locked. And from here, raising the arms up, drawing that little arc with the nose to look up at the ceiling. Good, again, just checking in with yourself here, equal weight on both feet. Hips square. Shoulders slightly behind the hips. Gaze up, shoulders soft. 2 more breaths here. Really good. And bringing the gaze to the front, allow the arms to come out to the side. Good, keeping that even balance over both feet. So you've got a solid support underneath you. As you exhale, lifting that pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. Let's draw the hands together like we're holding a ball. Let's just reach forward. Good, one more breath. And allowing the hands to come down either side of that foot, stepping all the way back into your downward dog. Good, one more breath here. And we're going to get this right foot up to the top of the mat by whatever means works for you. And when we're here, we're going to just walk ourselves across so we are on the long side of the mat with our legs nice and wide, bringing the hands onto the legs. Have your legs as bent as you need to here. And if you can reach the backs of your legs, do. If you can't, it's fine to have your hands on the floor, whatever works for you, listening to your body. Wherever you are in this pose, think about inhaling, finding length in that spine. Exhaling, can you get a little millimeter deeper into the pose? And one more breath here. Good. If your hands are on your legs, bring them into the center. And from here, we're just going to turn that left foot out and come onto the heel, coming up onto the toe of the right foot. And let's just sweep across to the other side. And over and back and over and back.
Good. And over, so the right foot is in front. And let's just come to the front of the mat. So you've got your right foot like you're in a low lunge. Right knee over right ankle, right leg, left foot, leg going behind. Gosh, I'm really getting mixed up with me left and rights. And from here, so you can stay like this. We're going to walk that right foot all the way out to the edge of the mat. So both of your hands are on the inside of your foot. You can stay like this, or if you'd like a little bit more, maybe you'd like to come down onto that left forearm. Maybe that's enough, and you can, of course, let that right foot come up off the floor so that you're onto the edge of the right foot. And if you want a bit more, maybe you want to bring your right hand down, right forearm onto the mat. As we take 3 breaths here. Good, and making your way back up. Let's just take that to the other side. So left foot comes forward. And again, maybe staying here, or maybe you want to come down onto one or both forearms. One more breath. And coming back up onto your hands and onto all fours, just opening out those knees and push back into a child's pose for a little rest. And one more breath here. Coming up onto all fours and curling those toes, pushing back into your downward dog. And let's walk it all the way up to the top of the mat and come all the way up. Good. And from here, once again, with your hands on your hips, we're going to step that right leg back. This time, don't let it go back quite so far. We want a little bend in that left knee. We're going to bring the torso. You might find it easier to have your hands in prayer here. Have a wall or a chair handy, because we're going to come up onto this left foot as our torso is halfway towards the floor, like this. So if you find this difficult, you can always hold on to the chair, or indeed put your hand on the wall, whatever works. And one more breath. And letting that leg down. Good, well done. And from here, coming back up into your mountain pose, open out the arms and just let the chest open here so your palms are facing towards the front. One more breath. Good. And again, shifting the weight into that left foot, we're going to just raise the right leg up and hold on to the shin. Good. Finding a gaze point, nice and soft. Keeping those shoulders over the hips if you can. One more breath. And then bringing this leg back, so we're holding on to the ankle of that right foot. It's coming up behind us. Again, if that's comfortable for you to do. And if not, if you can't hold it up this far, it's fine, just lift it up off the floor a little bit. And from here, raising the left arm up. Good, let's take a breath.
You can stay here, or if you'd like to go for the full dancer pose, you can begin to bend forward, bringing the hand forward and raising that leg up so you're pushing the foot into the hand and the hand to the foot. Good. Let's take one more breath here. And coming all the way back, letting the foot come down. Well done if you managed to do that. From here, let's take that to the other side. So we're stepping the left foot back just a little bit, so it's not going too far back. Keeping those hips nice and square. Bringing the hands into prayer as we start to bring the shoulders forward and the chest. Keeping the spine nice and long, we're going to lift up off that left foot. Good. Finding your point here. You can keep that gaze to the floor. Taking one more breath. Good. And bringing that left foot down. Bring it up to the front. As we raise that left leg now up, so all of the weight going into the right foot. Again, go with what works for you here. Use the chair as much as you need to for support, or the wall, lifting the leg up, holding onto the shin, finding your point of stillness, using your breath to help you here. Good, one more breath. And then bringing that leg behind you. Lovely. Raising the right arm up. Really connecting with the breath. So your focus is on the breath. Keep a softness in that right knee as you begin to bend forward, lifting that leg up. Good, really good. Take one breath. And slowly, with some control, coming all the way back. Well done. Well done if you managed again to get even a millisecond of that pose. It is a difficult pose. It requires a lot of different muscles working. So well done wherever you got to in that pose. Let's raise those arms up and sweep down into a forward fold, and from here come down onto all fours and pushing your hips back, coming into a nice child's pose. One more breath here. And making your way to lying down. And bending both knees, just letting the knees fall over to the right. Opening out your arms and letting your gaze go to the left. And now I'm going to put Alan on the spot here and say, do you have that pedal beach? No, you don't. Should have given you warning beforehand. And let's just allow those knees to fall over to the left, turning your gaze to the right. Taking one more breath here. And coming back to
center, letting the legs come out nice and long. Bringing the hands in by your side, palms facing upwards as you prepare for your final resting pose of Shavasana. And I will say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you managed to get a little bit of balance in. And I will be back here again on Wednesday live at 6 o'clock and again on Friday. And we'd love to have you along. We'll be semi here on Friday because Alan's going away, so it'll be a pre-record. Woohoo for me, I have a weekend without him. But yes, there will be a class here on Facebook at 6 o'clock on Friday. So thank you so much for your time, and I bid you a namaste as I invite you now to just completely let go. Allow your body to just take in all of that work that it's done. Allow it to become part of your body's story. As you just let go your toes and the tops of your feet and the soles of your feet. Let go your heels and ankles, your shins and calves. Let go your knees, and especially your quads and your hamstrings. Let go your glutes and your whole pelvic area, your belly and the small of your back. Let go your rib cage, front and back, your chest and shoulder blades. Let go your armpits and upper arms, elbows and forearms, wrists, backs of your hands, palms of your hands and fingers. Just let it all go. Letting go the back of your head and the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, lips, tongue. Just let it all go. Allowing your attention to rest on your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Connecting here with your inner self. And just taking some time to be grateful to your inner self. And to pick some points in your life that you're particularly grateful for today. And imagine that you're walking down a beach, noticing the sounds, the smells, the heat of the sun. Find a nice place to sit and watch and enjoy.